Bună ziua, bine ați venit. Well, welcome back to the channel. I've been a bit remiss about this channel, Books with Dr. David. So it's a pleasure to be back, and I'm going to do a lot more. And today I'd like to talk about a book which is extraordinary, by Franz Kafka, Die Verwandlung, Metamorphosis. I'll start by reading the first line. I'll only read 2 lines from the book, the first and the last. Als Gregor Samsa eines Morgens aus unruhigen Träumen erwachte, fand er sich in seinem Bett zu einem ungeheuren Ungeziefer verwandelt. For those of you who don't speak German, as when Gregor Samsa woke up from unpleasant dreams, he found himself transformed in his bed into a, Ungeziefer is monstrous vermin, really. Ungeziefer, ungeheure, Ungeziefer, monstrous vermin. And deliberately, it's never quite stated what type of insect or animal he has been changed into. It's an extraordinary first line. It's reminiscent of Camus' L'étranger. Aujourd'hui, maman est morte, ou peut-être hier, je ne sais plus. Shocking. So this first line sets the tone. And the tone of the novella is neutral. Gregor has been turned into an insect and treats this as a normal event. He is not shocked at all. What the novella charts is his gradual disintegration and the dehumanizing effect it has upon him. The time frame of the novel is very interesting. The first day when he's turned into an insect takes up part 1, and then there are other parts to the novel until his unfortunate demise. No spoilers. He gradually becomes it. He stops being a person and is referred to by his sister, who initially loves him and looks after him and cares for him and brings him food, as das Zeug, the thing, that thing. Die Verwandlung. Transformation, metamorphosis. The whole family is changed, is transformed by Gregor's incident. The father, who has been rather work shy and stays at home, everyone relies on Gregor to provide for them. The father gets a job as a bank doorkeeper, really, and takes great pride in his new job, leaving his uniform on, his shiny gold buttons, falling asleep in his chair, and rediscovering the empowering nature of work. The sister has dreams of being a violinist, and Gregor wants to support her and had planned to tell her at Christmas that he'd got her a place at the conservatory so that she could fulfill this dream. Well, she becomes a seamstress and works to provide for the family. Dehumanizing, because he loses interest in food. Initially, his sister brings him milk, which was always his favourite drink, and his favourite foods. Eventually, they just put scraps of rubbish, waste, on a newspaper, piece of newspaper, and leave it for him to eat or to roll around in. He gets covered in food. He loses his furniture from the room initially. They want to give him more space to move around his room. He likes climbing up the walls and hanging from the ceiling, and they take away his furniture. Significantly, one picture of a woman in furs, which is sort of erotic, I suppose. He refuses to let them have and clings to it with his very being. So he loses his furniture, he's uninterested in food. Eventually he stops eating and fades away to nothingness. The family, to make ends meet, take in 3 lodgers, and because they need more space, they put the furniture back into his room. So he becomes storage, effectively, in his own apartment. So his father is reawakened. There are 2 incidents where his father, Kafka did not have a good relationship with his own father. There are 2 incidents where the father drives Gregor back into his room. One is where he threatens him with a stick and pushes him through the door, the double doors, causing an injury to Gregor's side. The second is when he escapes, he moves into the sitting room, and his father throws apples at him, one of which lodges in Gregor's back and eventually becomes ulcerated and perhaps contributes to his death with the infection that is caused. There is a film version of Die Verwandlung, and I think it works because you never see the creature. Everything is viewed from within the creature. So you're looking out at the family, and it really works very well. You can find it probably on YouTube. So he loses his sight. He can't see out of the window. They leave the window open, partly because of the smell in his room, which is untenable. And he used to look out at the hospital, which is opposite his window. But gradually, the hospital becomes indistinct, and he can't see. He can't see anymore. There are certain religious elements, I would suggest, to the book. He planned to announce to Greta. Now, Greta and Gregor, quite similar names. He wanted to announce to Greta that she had a place at the music academy, the conservatory, on Christmas. When he eventually dies, he dies at Easter. Gregor lives in a claustrophobic environment. He is hemmed in, quite literally, into his room. He doesn't see anything outside. This is a metaphor for his claustrophobia. And he is a repressed individual, there is no doubt, when he describes his job and his work. This is a mood of repression. There is a spider who gives birth to lots of offspring, and then she sacrifices herself and dies so that the offspring can have their first meal. This is very reminiscent for me of Gregor, who effectively sacrifices himself so that his family can change, can thrive, and they do. They are reawakened, and this is most clearly seen at the end of the novella, after Gregor has died, the family go outside, and this is the first time we've been outside the apartment. And the final lines describe Mr. and Mrs. Samsa taking their daughter on the tram and looking at the daughter and thinking, she's now ready to be married. And they said, the last line is, das war ihnen wie eine Bestätigung ihrer neuen Träume und guten Absichten, als am Ziel ihrer Fahrt die Tochter als erste sich erhob und ihren junger Körper dehnte. So she stretches her young body after she gets up. And it's a confirmation of their dreams and their anticipated wishes for her future. So it's almost as if Gregor's self-sacrifice, because he stops eating and just dies as an empty husk, has allowed his sister to develop almost from the state of a chrysalis into a butterfly. Sich dehnte. It is a wonderful book, told in a neutral tone, and well worth reading, and just shows us how great Kafka is as a novelist. Well, I hope you read it if you haven't already. Metamorphosis. There we go. I can thoroughly recommend it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Arrivederci.